Hello, everyone. I don't know what happened. There was a little glitch. I hope you guys all found me back here. Um, that was strange. All righty. Oh, this is like I can see in my peripheral. He's looking. Look, he's like, "Oh, it's time to go." Okay, here he comes. He doesn't like get going until he knows I'm talking. He knows that's when there's action. So, well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm sorry about the little glitch that I had. It just played the wrong video. I'm like, it ended my stream. I don't like, just very bizarre. But nonetheless, I am here now, and I want to thank Lizzie B for being here. She's so timely, and I saw Mr. Garose as well earlier. So thank you so much for being here, Natalie, Joanne, Janine Dawkins, Tammy Bray, uh, Julianne, Karen Noakes. Okay, Otis. Okay, Marie G. Shanion Velvet, Neely, Patricia Grant, Far Out Music. Yes, 60s and 70s. I'd have to put in there also the 80s and the 90s, the best music of all time. That crap we have now is horrendous. We have the best music back in the 80s and 90s. Hello, Honesty and Truth. Thank you so much for being here. London Girl is here. London Nook Girl is here. Sue Hertz. Thank you for being here. Otis. Okay, come sit down. Okay, hi, Otis. Hi. Yes. You were just sitting just fine a few minutes ago. Come sit down. So, thank you for being here. So, today, oh, and Brenda's here. Brenda's 64. Thank you so much for being here, you all. I am oh, these jewels. Thank you so much for the jewels. Shanion Velvet. Thank you so much. Okay, sit down, Otis. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Otis, sit down. It's okay. I promise you. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. So we are going. Oh my goodness. Otis, what are you doing? We are going to be talking about, I'm talking about Prince Harry spiraling. And I'm gonna have Paula M on a little bit. We're gonna be talking about there's controversy brewing in the background around Invictus. Paula, she brings receipts, so she's going to be bringing some receipts for us. We're going to talk about that. But if you are here, if you could help a sister girl out and just like this video, share and comment, I would really appreciate that. It kind of helps with the algorithm and everything. But one thing that I wanted to also talk about before we get into all the details around Harry and spiraling and everything, because this has a little bit to do with that. And it is quite serious, I think, because, we are in this mode of talking about everything that is happening. And, when you look at it, people's lives are like being affected, and I believe oh, and hi Debbie Coffee as well. I believe that Harry is, I'm somewhat concerned about him. I am, because I don't see anything good coming out of anything that this man has done and what he's trying to do. But it is, like it's his own fault, right? It really is his own fault. So I'm just saying that his life will never get better with a wife like someone like Meghan. And I chalk it up to what happened when they went to the David Foster gala, because already now there is news out there that here, I'll just show you that David Foster now is having to do a clap back. Let me close this. Do a clap back around what happened on the red carpet. And a couple of things came to mind when I saw this. Because you have to understand, David Foster is like, he is like a father figure to Harry. At least that's what's been reported. Okay. And everything that has happened, oh, hold on. Everything that has happened with this couple has gone to crap. Okay. Like everything. And we already know Harry is not someone that takes well to, or not take well to, but, you know, he struggles with his mental health, you know, especially when his life is in shambles. We already saw what happened, with, in his life in the past. He's talked about it with his drug addiction and everything. But I think this right here says so much. This says so much about what is happening behind the scenes. The fact that we see this story that is refuting, and let me show you the video, because that's part of it. Because we all have to remember that it's down here. I'll have to add it again because I new video thing. We have to remember that Megan is the one that brings controversy with her wherever she goes. I mean, she cannot, they go to New York, there's a car chase. She goes to Paris Fashion Week. There's issues around her driving by Princess Diana's, where she died, anywhere they go. That's just a couple examples, but generally wherever they go, there is a controversy that blows up in the media. Okay. Being invited to Kris Jenner's birthday party blows up in the media, everything. And it always has to do with his wife. It always has to do with Harry's wife. And she brings with her so much toxicity that you'll never get to a life of peace and zen and comfort and just harmony and peace, because she continually seeks out that spotlight. And as the husband, Harry, as the husband to that woman, he is inevitably brought into that disarray and conflict and controversy continually. And then I see these pictures of Harry's wife or ex-girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, just because she had her third child. And you look at her and her husband, and that they're now living on this island, and Chelsea is just living like the life, and you're seeing this, Harry, you're seeing this, and you have to then be outside of the life that you're living in chaos when you see the woman that you used to be with is living pretty much the life you would like to have. And that must send you into a complete downward spiral around your own circumstances, because that would be the kind of life Harry would want. I think he would still like to do his humanitarian work, but this woman, Chelsea's not seeking the limelight. She's not seeking all of these things that Hollywood brings. But yet Harry's wife is, and Harry is being brought into disaster constantly. I mean, we just look at a few of the things that are happening with Harry right now. Next week, they're going to be announcing, the judges, the amount of money that has to be paid out. Because when you start to get to your finances and your finances then start to become part of the problem, that's when it tips over and it's real bad. So you've got the relationship with his own brother. You've got what's happening with Centabali. He's being sued. We've got the Invictus Games. We've got his own relationship with his wife who doesn't want what he wants. So his own life is being challenged. The desires and wants that he has is being challenged. So there's a lot that's happening, I think, in the background that I have been just contemplating and thinking about. But just to get back to what happened. So with that information, with knowing that information, let's just look at what happened here with David Foster, okay? Now my question is, why did this end up in People magazine? Why? No, David Foster did not snub dear friend Meghan Markle on the red carpet at charity event. Exclusive. For real, for real? Now keep in mind, people, this didn't make like the nightly news. This was not an expose on 60 Minutes in America or in Australia. This information was merely spoken about on social media platforms. That's it. So why? Tell me, why is this an exclusive? Why are we talking? Why are you acknowledging pretty much a small story that didn't have a whole lot? Oh, I gotta do something. I gotta resend this to her. Why would you make this out to be something that you had to address? Why? I look at it like this. Meghan Markle most certainly, and this just gives you the proof that you need. This literally proves that Meghan Markle and her team or whoever continually watch what is happening on social media. This is proof right here. Because there is no way you would be speaking about this. This should not be coming out as an exclusive. Most certainly, Meghan made it a request to put this story out there to debunk her being snubbed by David Foster. Okay? So this is what happened, right? So we know Meghan's trying to direct things. She's now seeing David and his wife come onto the stage, and David just walks right past her. Didn't acknowledge her. He didn't seem to be preoccupied talking to others, trying to just kind of get into the zone of the event. He literally looked at this woman and walked straight past her. And the only people talking about this is on social media. This was not a big deal. We just talked about it. But yet they've got to put it into this national magazine that Meghan has her backhand in and debunk it. See, Meghan brings controversy wherever she goes because by having this exclusive, that just tells me that David Foster's people were told about this image and needed to rectify it. That's what it looks like to me. And it's almost like, why would you have to do that? Why say anything, David? Were you asked to do this? Did your son-like friend Harry beg you to do it because Meghan asked Harry to ask you to do it? Like, Harry's always pulled into this nonsense. He's pulled into these trivial things that would get you to a place of almost losing it all the time. Now I'm gonna bring in my dear friend here. Let me find it. Let me bring in. Hey, Miss Paula M.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hello. Before we talk about the Invictus, I wanted to get your take on this only because this seems so unnecessary to have David Foster give an exclusive rebuttal to Meghan not being snubbed, at this gala. So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's embarrassing. I talked about it in my video today because clearly I posted this slow thing. I posted this clip and it went viral on X.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is yours.
But the thing is that it went viral on X, and people started picking the news. People started picking it afterwards, and they made it viral.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, let me go back. Yes, it wasn't until this was posted, and we on social media were talking about this, and then it became a story, right? But yeah, you're absolutely right, Paula, because I think your video really showed how, when you look at it, he completely dodged her. I mean, it goes by rather quickly in real life, but I think that says it all right there. Because, right?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing, it's the same thing that happened. I'll tell you how many people have seen this. 1.2 million people have seen it.
Oh,
clip.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is why the mainstream media picked it up, right? Once the mainstream media picked it up, because the statement that David Foster put out was like, I had spoken to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I don't think it's David Foster who put this thing. It's because he wouldn't be referring to them as the
Duke and Duchess. Absolutely not. Right.
I think that's Meghan on the media that has spoken to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
She requested his camp, I believe, to put this out.
Yes. And I think because I'm trying to get the footage, because the thing is that Harry and Meghan were supposed to pose and move along. So David and his wife could pose on their own and then leave. But Harry and Meghan refused to leave. So they had no choice but to walk with them. And if you look at it, Meghan actually wanted David Foster right next to her and Catherine on the other side at the end. That's why she's extending her hand. He completely ignores her, because if you just saw somebody 10 minutes earlier, but I don't know what might other people think, when you see them, you still greet them. It's like, yeah, like we're here. And no, his face is very serious, is very stern. If they had seen each other 10 minutes earlier, why is Harry going like, yeah, right, like he's just seen him?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's engaging in conversation, like, hey, he says something and Meghan overly laughs, like it's cut off on this one.
She's the only one doing that. And she looks at Harry and she does that stupid laugh that nobody's laughing like that. People are just posing, but I think she's almost crazed that she managed to get on a red carpet. Yes.
She's in a psycho, like A-lister craze, like
look at that laugh. Look at that laugh. It's like,
oh my God, come take a picture with me. I mean, I can feel the anxiety. I can sense it. It's like, calm down, woman. Calm down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wipe that smile off your face. Wipe it off.
It's insanity, Pat. I was just thinking about that, because it's like, why say anything at all? This is what the royal family kept saying to Harry. Remember that was one of the issues that Meghan Markle had with the royal family, that she wanted to clap back at every story in the newspapers. Yeah. And the palace said, no, we don't need to clap back at stupid stuff. You're wasting energy. You're turning it into a story when
Yeah.
there shouldn't be one. You just ignore it, like, and it'll die away. It's the same
Right.
thing with Martha Stewart. Patricia, who the hell in their right mind would clap back at Martha Stewart,
I know.
a proudly convicted felon who's buddies with Snoop Dogg and all the rap, machinery and
Oh,
in the
yes.
United States, and is an icon. She is a total icon.
Right, right. Come on up here, Otis. So Megan is bringing Harry, I think, to a level where his life, I think, is not in a good place at all. I think Harry is completely miserable. I think he tries to smile for the cameras, but he is. I believe this man is abusing drugs. My opinion.
Oh
I
yeah.
believe.
Oh yeah. Harry's.
Yeah,
He
I
has
mean, how
to
else would you deal with this? How else do you deal with it? It's like your wife is sending you into a mental breakdown, and everything that you want is being pushed back against. He doesn't want to stay in California, but Megan does, right? I mean,
This is David Foster. I don't know how many Oscars or Emmys this guy has. This guy's like proper A-list, like legend, and
yeah,
he's been now embroiled in this minuscule thing. Oh, you
yes,
didn't? I just never in the red carpet.
right.
How embarrassing! How
Embarrassing.
D-list of
It's
this
so
is it
D-list.
all?
You think about it, you got Martha Stewart being embroiled with Megan's nonsense, Chris Jenner, now David Foster. Who else is she? What other A-listers? Courtney Cox. Well, at least Prince Harry did when he wrote his
Well, they
book.
markled Oprah.
Oprah. Yeah, it's just, and these
Kevin
are
Costner
top of
and
the
that
line
Kevin
people.
Costner.
Oh,
I
Kevin
am surprised.
Costner.
I am. So, you know what, Pat? Remember that I posted that clip on the second Kevin Costner when Megan stormed on stage, and then Harry ignored her, and then she stormed off. You and I were
Yes.
the only ones who posted that, and then I had Daily Mail reach out to me because they only posted stills of when Harry kind of acknowledged her. So it looks like they took a picture, so it looks like he's hugging her because the headlines were, the loving moment shared between the Duke and the Duchess. Remember? And
Yes,
then
yes.
I screwed up their narrative when I posted the whole clip, and it showed that there wasn't a loving moment between the Duke and the Duchess.
That's right,
You
right.
know, if you notice, they're not talking about the first time when she went on the Kevin Costner thing when when Megan wanted to grab
Take
the
the
mic,
microphone.
and the guy was
Right.
just like, it's not happening on my watch, lady.
Yeah. So it is so bad. It really is. I just don't. Oops. I just don't know. Oops. Okay, there we go. I don't know how these A-listers deal with this, because it really, I think, affects their reputation. And
Well,
I
I
can't
gotta tell you
imagine
something.
they're not
I have
happy
to
about
tell
it.
you.
Mm-hmm.
David Foster announced inside, I have the speech, I can send it to you, that this was the last gala that he was doing. This was his last year doing it. This is why Meghan Markle didn't care about burning that bridge, because she doesn't have to worry about coming back to another gala with David Foster, because he's not going to do them anymore. He's just going to keep the foundation going, but he's not going to organize these events anymore. This is why Meghan refused to leave the red carpet. They were supposed to leave the red carpet. Okay, you get pictures, you walk
You move
out.
along.
If
Yeah.
you look at it, David Foster had no choice, and Catherine McPhee. This is why it looks weird.
Yeah.
It
It's
doesn't look
awkward.
like this. It looks weird. Once
Yeah.
I have that footage, you can bet your butt I'm gonna post it, because they were being ushered off, but now they've learned to not show the clip, so it's getting harder. But I have a friend who has the clip, and she's gonna send it to me
Get it.
when
Okay, good
Harry
girl.
and Meghan are being, because it makes sense. This is his last.
Yeah.
This is his last gala. He's been doing it for 40 years, the 40-year event. He wanted to pose for the last time in this red
Yeah.
carpet. And the moment Meghan Markle and the idiot Prince Harry stole his thunder.
And the idiot Prince Harry. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. I think there's a bigger story here. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I mean, this is the
Can you
things that
imagine,
we do
Patricia?
see. Yeah.
I gotta tell you something. I did not know that Catherine McPhee was that talented. I went to her.
Yes,
I
she
went
has
to.
a
I did
beautiful
not.
voice.
I went to her Instagram page, and they were singing "America is the great America."
Uh-huh. She's got talent. That girl can sing.
Ladies and gentlemen on the side chat, and you know what? Megan didn't use her name. You would think that Catherine McPhee would be the one speaking, saying, "Hey, I've known Megan all my life. We went to high school together. This is nonsense, right?"
Yeah.
Why
You
David
would
Foster?
think.
Because in Megan's mind, he's the A-list. He's the one that matters.
Right. Yeah. And she seems so nice. She really seems like a really.
Trisha, I kid, guys. And I mean, I was shocked when I went to her thing. I wanted to hate her. I really wanted to hate on her. But
you
then
can't.
she this
You
lady.
know what upselling means?
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. I wanted to show you something. Did you see on my video what Megan did or what she had done when the Cookie Queens were talking on MSNBC? I think it was MSNBC, and they were interviewing the director and one of the Girl Scouts, and how Megan was the only one was named as the producer for the movie. Did you hear that?
No,
let me play. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Guess what?
So I don't know if I can say.
I want first just finish what you were saying. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I did not know. I didn't. Well, no, I didn't know that Catherine McPhee was that talented. But I did not know because Megan is not the executive producer. She's one of the many.
Yes, there were 4 producers on this movie.
And not only that, Pat. I did a video about this because if you're an executive producer, that means that you're putting money in and you have a lot of decision-making power. Yeah, right. When they were doing the promos, remember that they were talking about Jam? They used Bon Maman and rather than As Ever.
I know,
If I am really an executive producer with decision-making power, I would say, hey, wait a minute, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone here.
Right.
Let's do As Ever.
Yes.
And that way I advertise my crap. And then I get revenue, there, and then I'm making money there advertising. That's free marketing, or not free, but And then on top of that, I'm an executive producer. So to me, it's clear that she is an executive producer in name only, because they would have used that. Bon Maman allegedly paid to have their jams shown. They were paying revenue.
Did they really? Yeah.
Yes, of course they did. That's why they
had to, because there's so many. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
How embarrassing. You're standing there talking about jams. That jam is your jam. Remember, Pat? Jam is my jam.
Yeah, jam is my jam.
Woman. I love to be in the kitchen and cook jam.
Man, Megan has literally turned her life into royalty, into a ghetto soap opera. It really is. I mean, come on. Everything is just embarrassing that this woman does. And it's so bad. I'm telling you, Prince William, you stay as far away from this woman as possible, because you bring her into the royal circle, the royal family is going to be ghettofied. I'm telling you, because this woman will do it. She is going to do it. Okay.
Ghetto fabulous.
Yes, that's exactly right. Don't do it. But I want you to listen to what the announcer says as they're signing off on this segment. Just listen.
Selling and learning the highs and the lows of that, some of the challenges that we face when trying to do our work.
And using the frame of the Girl Scout cookies to look at Americana, to look at what it's like to be girls today. Very, very clever. It's a delightful documentary. Cookie Queens is in theaters this Friday, August 7th. We should note, produced by Meghan Markle. Director Alyssa Namias and Olive, a member of Troop 219.
Produced by Meghan Markle. What?
Oh, she must have been livid, because they didn't say produced by the Duchess of Sussex. The Duchess of Sussex is coming in the room.
That's true, but you know what? Why not Archwell? Why didn't they say Harry? Like Meghan, and she's just the executive, but like she didn't have a hand in the day-to-day
Nothing. She
of
just
this.
put the name at the very end. She didn't do anything.
How stupid is, just imagine the controversy that she put into this segment to have her name announced right here. Even though they didn't say Duchess, she had to be the one wanting her name on there.
Yeah, and this is a lie produced by Megan. Is actually she's a minority producer. She's just a producer in name only. That is
exactly.
I just got to say something that Namastella is saying. Can you imagine Cops, the Kensington Palace edition?
Yeah.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
Oh my goodness. Okay, we want to talk about this Invictus stuff, right?
Oh, Patricia. I just did my video on it because it is juicy. This guy, Scott, the veteran who's suing Canada, and we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Inadvertently has screwed Harry over because of this lawsuit. Now they're asking for a detailed copy of expenses or the report from Dusseldorf, which was sealed and the ones in British Columbia, because there's a lawsuit going on, right? And he's suing Canada. I don't know why, but I thought we could listen to it and let me know what you think, because it's really interesting. I'm just gonna play directly from my video because that way they don't give us just in case they give us a little bit of copyright here. Okay. So I'm gonna show you this, and this is from Paula Froelich, who interviewed this man, right? Okay. She interviewed this man, and she forgot to ask one of the most important questions. Now, keep in mind, people, that PDINA and I have been talking about the British Columbia report since February 2025. We exposed the entire report because it was redacted, it's been shady. And if you think about it, I have submitted an FOIA because the British Columbia MP was denied access to it. So she has filed for a Freedom of Information request. I'm sure it's going to take 6 years because that's how long it took the people who found out that Harry in Canada is the highest cost of security. Not even Barack Obama, who was a former president and came to Canada, but Harry, the taxpayers have spent the most money on idiot Harry. Yeah, keeping him safe. So it took them 6 years to get their response from the Freedom of Information Act. So it's going to be very interesting to see how long it takes to get that. So I thought, here, I'll share this with you and we can play it a little bit. Okay. And we can discuss this because I'm sharing it. So all you have to do is share it, Pat. Okay. Okay, let's go here.
US. What happened?
Obviously super excited, super nervous. And as the video that's widely distributed, I was being passed the ball, and so at the games in wheelchair rugby, I was not in a wheelchair. I wasn't wheelchair bound going there, but it's about inclusivity. So half our team was wheelchair bound and half were not. And so your natural reaction, if you're not wheelchair bound, is to reach up and get the ball. And I reached up to get the ball and I wasn't restrained in, and I fell back, as the video shows, and the rest is history.
So why didn't the chair that you were in not have a restraint strap? And did you know going in, were you warned about any equipment issues?
I can't answer why, because but at the training camps that we were attending from Team Canada, we always wear restraint straps, like all the training camps we did, but I can't answer why they weren't there.
Were you concerned when you didn't see a restraining strap?
Yes, I was. Well, no, I wasn't. I don't really know. Like, it was just such a blur. It was so excitement. There was so much going on.
If you look at this gentleman.
So was that how much? I didn't want to get a strike or what.
No, this is my video.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
But the interesting thing is that he praises Invictus. He fails to disclose that Invictus Game Foundation makes all the participants sign an ironclad waiver of responsibility. Mm-hmm. Number two, Who told them not to use the correct wheelchair?
Mm-hmm.
Not Canada. And I can tell you, the Canadian government is not a member or owner of the Invictus Games Foundation, which is an independent, and I'm reading directly from there, which is an independent charity based in the United Kingdom that governs the international sporting event. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, Canada was not responsible for the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf. Those games were hosted in September 2023 by the city of Dusseldorf, Germany, alongside the Invictus Games Foundation. That's it. They had nothing to do with him going anywhere. Like, they're not responsible for that.
So why does he think he can get anything from the government?
Because he's being shady and he's promoting Harry. He's wearing the Invictus thing, saying how great they are. And he doesn't want to say, and this is just my opinion, that Invictus Game Foundation, because he keeps talking about inclusivity, that the reason why they told him don't use the safe wheelchairs is because you have to be inclusive, even though when they trained, they did it in the proper wheelchairs. So clearly somebody in Invictus told them not to use the chairs because they had the chairs available. So why isn't he suing the people who told him that? Because he's still being shady, helping Harry. Instead, he's suing the Canadian government because he says that the Canadian government made him spend money. I am Canadian. Canada is known worldwide for free healthcare, guys.
Right. Yeah, there's no way they would have made him spend money. But my question would be, do you think this is again like the Lawrence lady where she was contacted by Harry to help with his lawsuit? You think this is another situation with Harry contacting this gentleman here about what his lawsuit is and not suing Invictus?
I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you, I don't know if Harry's getting a cut of that, because why would Canada be sued for a decision he made in another country,
Exactly.
a profit organization?
It doesn't make sense.
Can you imagine, Patricia, if you tell me, oh, Paula, I want a Volvo, or let's say a Mercedes-Benz. And I said, hey, Dinah, I have the money. I'll give you a Mercedes-Benz, right? You know that the Mercedes-Benz has seatbelts, that you're supposed to drive carefully. You're not supposed to drive. You know, you're supposed to follow the rules. Can you imagine if I give you the car and then you decide to get in the car drunk, not wear your seatbelt and drive, you get in an accident, and then you blame me for your poor choices?
Right. Yeah, that just would not be.
And this is another thing that this is Harry costing the Canadian taxpayers money.
Yeah. So that is interesting because I know, well, it's not going to happen. He's not going to get anything. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You're not going to be able to sue the government. And
well, this lawsuit is active, but it took a dark turn for Harry because now they're asking for the financial records.
Yes. And now that's part of the problem because it looks like, I mean, all the money that they have for
You're in trouble, Harry.
Yeah, he's in trouble. I see a lot of problems coming for Harry only because of the financial situation with Harry, and everything around his life is just in shambles.
And I'm going to show you something, Pat, because you and I were talking about it. You and I have charities. I don't have a U.S. charity, clearly, right? But I do have, but you have a U.S. charity. But this is pretty much global because I've asked in the UK, and also because the Royal Foundation, they've done events, and other international foundations, they've done events worldwide. And for example, when somebody donates money to you from, let's say, Canada or the UK, if somebody says, oh, I'm going to give you $5,000, PDINA, I'm going to donate it to your fund. If your charity is properly registered, you get that money, you give them a receipt or a letter saying this person donated X amount, for their taxes in their country, and you report it in your taxes in your country, right?
Yeah.
Harry has been, here, I'm sharing this with you. Harry's
I want to first thank Far Out Music for your jewels. Thank you so much. And I'll get these as we go through. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say something to Ash MB2 because Scott was asked, why don't you sue Invictus? And he says, well, I don't want to ruin it for the other guys. That is a lie, because he's ruined it for the other guys by not holding the institution liable for that. He's not helping. Why must the government be held liable to provide health insurance for people who want to do a sporting event that is for a private organization? That is not true. He just doesn't want to call out Harry and Meghan ultimately, because Meghan now is deeply involved. So that is a lame excuse. He should be saying it. I'm suing Invictus in order for Invictus Games to provide the security to the participants. I want to improve it for the future of the participants.
Right.
Because, for example, in the United States, they're not going to give you, if you participate, a lot of the countries don't have free healthcare like Canada does. So why is he suing Canada? Canada is providing him with healthcare service. That is a bogus thing. So I'm just saying that, because that is not true. Why would you want to keep participating in an organization that is shady at best?
Yeah. Right.
And who's not looking out for your well-being? Because don't forget, after he fell, he went to the Invictus doctor, and the Invictus doctor barely looked at him and he said, "You're good to go, mate." And then it wasn't until he went back to Canada, when he was doing his regular medical checkups that they do here for free, that the person there said, "Wait a minute, there's something seriously wrong with you." And they proceeded to do all the health checkups. And that's how they found out that he had fractures and all kinds of things, which were corrected by the free medical care in Canada.
Wow. Thank you so much, Blue Stars. Thank you, Blue Stars.
Because when he's suing Canada, but he's suing the Canadian taxpayers, we're the ones who have to pony up. So we're still paying for Harry's insanity while Harry's grifting.
Yeah. And he's going to continue to do it. I mean, he is in a position now where this is becoming customary. This is becoming like his life. This is what he is getting used to. This is what his go-to is, grifting. He has to do it. He doesn't know any other way. He doesn't have the people that were usually around him as a working royal that would take care of all of these things when you had issues around legal things and, your whole working and dealing with people and organizations. It seems like he is continually getting caught up in a life of complete chaos around. I mean, this would never have happened under the Royal Foundation.
Oh, no. And I just want to answer something to David Coffey. No, Paula, he's suing for what Canada will not pay. That is because Canada is not responsible for that. If he chose, and I have this wonderful comment that this lady who is a paralegal, and she said in the comment that she left an amazing comment, and she responded that he is a participant to his own injury. This is something that he chose in another country. So of course, it's covered under healthcare here, but this is like, again, if you get in a car and you kill somebody or you hurt yourself because you're stupid, you're drunk, the government will, here in Canada, will pay for whatever you do at the hospital. But if your lifestyle changes or whatever because of something you did privately, why should the government pay for it? And even then, he has certain programs that do help him.
Yeah, it just seems silly to sue the government. I know here in the States, like you can't really sue the government here. I don't know how it is in Canada. Do they get sued generally, the Canadian government?
Yeah. Well, you can't sue the government. A lot of people sue the government. I gotta tell you, I'm looking for because she sent me that, and she's a paralegal, and she said me, that he's a participant. She said something like he's a participant in his own injury or something like that. I'm just looking for because that was spot on. And she said, and I asked her, "Are you a lawyer?" Because the way she phrased it, it seems like she says Canada will cover his expenses, his medical expenses. And for example, I go to the doctor here when I'm at the hospital. All my medical things, my doctor visits are private, and I paid an additional insurance for my meds.
Yeah,
my son, as a student, he's fully covered. For Hendrik, he was really sick. and he needed to take some antibiotics. He paid $1.32, and if the prescription would have costed almost $300, but as a student, he's covered. Now, from the age of 55, I'm covered for my teeth in Canada.
Wow, that's amazing. We don't have that here. I mean, if you don't have insurance here, you are screwed.
So, but this guy's being shady. That he's saying, "Oh, I don't want to ruin it for other." No, you should be advocating for the other veterans to prevent this and to hold Invictus Games accountable and say, "Wait a minute, if you're gonna," and it's only 530 of them. You know, he should be highlighting and saying who told him to use those chairs and not the right chairs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why isn't he naming the people?
Interesting. Thank you so much, Stacy 8420.
But what I'm really loving, because I went to look at the file. You can actually go here and you can look at the file. It's not. You can't show it there because it's an ongoing lawsuit, but you can actually go see it because it's public, because it's suing the Canadian government, right? So in the lawsuit, they're asking for the reports of Dusseldorf, because they deleted them.
They're asking for the ones when they were in Germany now.
Yes, and the ones in British Columbia.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to see if there is a financial gain, if there was negligence, like purposeful negligence. That's what I read on behalf of Invictus, because he still refusing to say who advised him to get in those chairs, because the chairs were provided by Invictus at the game. The chairs without not the right wheelchair.
Yeah.
So Invictus had that in mind. He's still refusing to name them.
That's interesting, because you would think that you would that's a basic question. Like, that's why, but at some point he will have to answer, right?
No, he doesn't have to, but then his lawsuit will suffer. But what he's doing is he's vilifying the Canadian government rather than vilifying Harry and saying, hey, your doctor, first, because he said that he was never told by Invictus, Patricia, that he needed to get additional insurance, that he figured that he was insured with the travel insurance, and he wasn't. So Invictus lied. He said that it was a passing comment that they did.
At one point, though, didn't he? Yeah, he did accuse Invictus, and then he changed everything. He changed it.
No, he's been attacking the Canadian government. I have the whole clip here.
I remember, though, when this first came out, Paula, and he was
here.
He did a video on it.
Retiring with multiple injuries, depression, and PTSD. While competing at the 2023 Invictus Games in Germany, he fell hard, injuring his head, neck, and shoulder.
Canada's Scott Snow takes a tumble out of his chair.
By the time he returned to Canada, he lost sensation in his hands and feet. Serving Canadian Forces members at the Invictus Games are medically insured, but veterans like Scott are not.
For the rest of their life, they're covered, any expenses, any modifications, and I have to rely on my credit card.
Snow and other veterans on the team in 2023 say they weren't fully briefed on what insurance they'd need to cover injuries sustained in competition.
But he's not saying that it's Invictus. Now,
exactly. It's Invictus's responsibility.
Exactly. When he says that, okay, the other one that he says that other veterans are covered for life, all the veterans are covered. He was covered for life for the injuries he got as a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces.
But not from competing in this
thing. And even then they paid for but he's being shady because they're blaming Canada as though Canada is hanging him up to dry. He's like saying, other veterans, be honest. He's being very Meghan Markle and very Prince Harry. He's lying by omission. It's like he's saying, oh, it's appalling that they don't have healthcare. Everybody in the world knows that Canada has free, kick up top of the line healthcare.
Wow. Okay. Well,
he's being very, very shady, but I am very glad because I read that. But you know what I read in the lawsuit? And I talked about it in my channel, on my video today, guys. Oh my God. Where the hell are $11 million for expenses at the Dusseldorf event unaccounted for? Because it's only generalized that they're giving expenses for Harry and Meghan. Why is Meghan being used as an expense? $11 million is the amount there that they want to know about. I was like, had to sit down, Patricia, because I'm dyslexic. So I was like, I'm reading, and I hate to read because I'm dyslexic, right? But I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, did I read this right? It's like, and I talked to the lady, and you helped me with it. Is this saying 11 million in expenses for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Dusseldorf gave 23 million euros, which is insanity, because when the Royal Foundation was doing Invictus, they used like 700,000 pounds in expenses because everybody volunteered everything. But out of the 23 million euros, and people in the chat help me, I think it's like $35 million. 11.12 went for expenses for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
That's crazy. So I would imagine, of course, Meghan and them charged their private flights, Meghan's wardrobe, of course, this very deluxe security. I mean, all kind of stuff was more than likely charged to Invictus back then. And this is going to be well, I don't know how it is with the Canadians, but like, isn't that like Discovery? Like when they have to show.
Oh, they have to. Yes, they requested it.
Yeah. So that could be coming out too. And that could also be a part of what's happening with Harry as well. I mean, nothing is going right in their lives. Absolutely nothing.
And this is why, because I think that we're not hearing about it. I found out because I went there. But otherwise I would have known. But apparently this has been going on for almost six and a half months that they requested these things. And Invictus Game Foundation clapped back, or not clapped back, but said, oh, we don't need to provide it. But they're demanding to have them. I'm sharing something with you because I want to show you guys the grift that they have going on right now.
And then also, not to mention also the visa whole thing, the visa controversy. I forgot about that one too.
Oh, yeah, but this thing, I'm sharing the thing with Invictus. There is no need for Invictus Games Foundation to start a separate foundation when they just because they're hosting it elsewhere. They can centralize this through their Invictus Games Foundation.
Exactly. That doesn't make any sense. That's like me going to go do something in Germany and I completely stop my regular charity work and open up another one just to do the work in Germany, when you can do that under your original nonprofit, right? But that tells you there is absolutely something shady going on with that.
Yeah, because then what happened is we know that the Dusseldorf, they sealed or they redacted the reports and now they've been taken off the internet. We know that the British Columbia one has also been fully redacted. How many years have we been talking about? A year and a half, Pat, about that bloody report, and now it's been taken offline. Remember, now the link that's public has been taken offline. The MP, the British Columbia MP, was denied access. She submitted a FOIA. Let's hope like it's gonna be 6 years before we get anything, just like the security thing with Harry. But this is really interesting because if you look at this, Pat, they've created Invictus UK 2027 Limited. Now, we've always discussed this, Pat, because Harry is legally not liable for the Invictus Games Foundation because his name doesn't appear anywhere. He's just a patron. Look at the trustees.
Yep.
There's no Harry there.
Nope. He's not there.
There's no Harry. And so far, they've received 3,339,779 pounds. They've only raised 209,000 pounds, which is nothing. And it brings me to my next point, that people are wrongly claiming that that Harry has to raise funds or X amount of funds for the government to give him the funds. That is not true. The government pledged 26.6 million pounds for Harry to host the games at Invictus. And I'm gonna show it to you here, Pat, so you can see UK. Yeah, here we go. I'll show you here. And what it does is that the UK government pledged up to 26.6 million in funding to back the successful bid to bring the Invictus Games Foundation tournament to Birmingham. And it is channeled, what it's called is it's like apportionate. What they're doing is, rather than dispersing the entire amount, they're dispersing it in amounts as needed. So for example, right now they disperse 3.3, so they're using that money, right? They're not going to disperse it all. They want to disperse it in cycles to ensure that the games are hosted, like just to avoid somebody taking off with the 26.6 million.
How does that work? They get a request for, because so they've given out what, 3 million of it for
3,100,000, because they've raised 209,000. Because I heard somewhere.
Okay, so once they raise it, they give them more that they can use. Once
they have up to
$26
million. They have up to let me see. What they did is underwrite. They guarantee that the funds are there in case the Harry or Invictus Foundation can't raise the funds. They have at least 20. Invictus. Let me see. I'm just trying to raise funds here. So they're basically saying you don't have to worry about it. Case it says because the total operating expenses are estimated to require significantly more organizers and patrons, including Prince Harry, face the task of raising money. However, they have 26.6 million pounds assured from the government.
Okay.
They are doing it to this is called the 26.6 million is used as a financial floor underwrite for the Birmingham event. So no matter what, they have that money guaranteed.
So at least Harry doesn't have to, because I know there was some talk about him having to raise a certain amount. So that's something that he has guaranteed. But part of that is, why Birmingham? Like, why? Like, I know that there was the mayor of Birmingham that was...
Well, Shabana Mahmood, the home secretary.
Yeah, the one he had wrote
from
to.
Birmingham.
Oh, the secretary, right. She was the one. She's from there, right?
Yeah, she's from Birmingham.
So I wonder how that works now, because he didn't get the security that he wanted. Right?
Well, he did get it, Patricia. Of course.
Well, but you know what I mean, Paula. He didn't
publicly. He didn't. But he's got it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have publicly announced he brought Meghan. You know what I mean? Because he posted in the newspapers were saying that he was satisfied with the enhanced security he got later on. That's also in the documents there in the newspapers. That Harry was now satisfied with the level of security he's getting for his wife.
Okay, so
that means that he got it.
Well, because they always had that kind of security.
Of course he did.
They never lost it. But the point is now that I think he wanted that so that he could use it when he's traveling, when he's not in the UK, right?
Well, now you'd be shocked, Patricia. I heard Mark Dolan say the other day that they should give him the security in the UK. He's the king's son, only when he's in the United Kingdom. Once you give it to him officially in the United Kingdom, then Mark Dolan is going to say, well, and I ask the people on the side chat, is Harry less of the king's son in the United States of America? Of course not. Well, then that would say, but wait a minute. Why not give it to him in the United States if he lives there?
Exactly. They do it like in little pieces. They like, okay, let's get a little bit here. Now that's how he brought Camilla into the royal family. Let's get a little bit here. Brought her to the 50th birthday. They're not slick, okay? And that's what it is. It's so, I don't know. People are just not going to really say anything when they do it like that. I think that's the biggest.
Oh no! What they're doing is they're wearing people out, and then
that's what they do.
They use their mouthpieces, like Rebecca English, who said, "Don't listen to us, YouTubers, the conspiracy theorists. Listen to me. We don't lie."
Right? Yeah. But she's doing things for. I think the king. Like the palace has a relationship with the royal rota, right? Like so that's not like people who are independent from the royal rota. Oh, look at Siri. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, I have got this must be a new thing with YouTube, because I have never, oh, Paula, it's so cute too when you show her on your videos. I think it is so cute. Okay, I did far out music. Hold on. She's being
But how
so
can you stop it? How can you stop it? Because, for example, we know now that they're blocking the visa records.
They're blocking the visa records. Wait a minute now. I know that they did say that, but do you think it could still come out?
I don't know, because, and this is the part that I don't get from the Heritage Foundation or for the people in the United States. I'm going to give you this bit. If I were an American citizen, I would have done it already. I would have accused Harry of drug taking, because
yes,
he is an immigrant. You can accuse him and you can order, because they're saying that his privacy matters. Yeah, but as an immigrant, if you're doing drugs, you're breaking federal law. You are a danger to the social environment, to the social to the people in the environment, because you're consuming drugs.
Sal Coco, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I would go to the police. I would go to the police and I would accuse him of drug consumption, and I would ask to have him drug tested.
To request that as an American, you think I should go do something to prompt
Absolutely. If I were an American in the United States, I'm serious, Pat.
Okay, tell me what to do.
Well, you go to the police station, you say that this man, who is clearly an immigrant, it doesn't matter if he's not on a diplomatic anything, that's BS. Okay. This man is admitting to using drugs. Now, the what's it called? The good of the many outweighs the privacy of the one. He is a risk to our youth because he's publicly advocating for the use of ayahuasca, a drug. He has publicly stating that because he went into Gabor Mate saying that he should do ayahuasca.
Okay.
As an immigrant, Harry is breaking federal law. Anybody can go and report him. Did you know that?
Anybody. Well, I'm going to have to go do that. And I have to take my cameras with me.
Yes, do that and record that.
I think I'm going to have to do that. I mean,
because the thing is everybody's focusing on whether I don't even know why the Heritage Foundation is mucking about in the 3,000 pages. No, all we need to know is the one line in the ESTA application form when you come into the country where it says, have you done drugs? If it tick yes, then we know he got a waiver to get in the country. If it tick no, we know he lied. Which is a federal crime, right, Pat?
That's right. So, thank you, Mystica Rose. Thank you.
Now, if he got a waiver, that's fine. That's what the word waiver is for. However, the waivers to come in the country as an immigrant, you're bound by federal law, which means that you cannot do any type of what's called controlled substance as marijuana, ayahuasca, or anything, not even for medicinal purposes.
What? Not even for medicinal purposes?
Well, before drugs existed, they would give you other stuff. If you had depression, they would treat you with proper.
Because it's not legal federally. That's why. Yeah, it's not legal.
So you can actually go there. So, but I don't understand why the Heritage Foundation is sticking around with the 307 pages, and they just said, listen, we do not want to violate his privacy, but he has publicly admitted to drug use, and that endangers society around him.
Absolutely.
Because that means that he's doing drugs and he's breaking federal law by his own words and admission. And he's done it. I mean, even in Spare, he said, Patricia, that while Meghan slept with Archie, he was rolling a joint outside of the garden of Tyler Perry's home. And then he does the Gabor Mate thing when he's talking about ayahuasca.
Thank you so much, Far Out Music 67. I feel like I'm out to lunch with mates, gals. That's what it always feels like when we're talking.
Oh, you have no idea when Patricia and I are talking on our own. It's like, yeah, girl.
It's like, yeah. I went, but I don't know.
You can't, Patricia. Any citizen.
I mean, where would I go to my local police? They think
you can go to any local police because it's a federal crime. And you want it in writing. Say, I want this in writing because it's endangering socially. This is a public person. He has a huge platform, so he has a large reach. Who is endorsing for the use of ayahuasca to youth? He's endorsing, he's admitting to doing drugs. He's breaking federal law. Once he got into the United States, he got a waiver to get in. He didn't get immunity to continue doing drugs, which is a big difference. And so you know, I'll show you this, Patricia.
Thank you, Lizzie B.
Let me see. I'm going to show you this. I told you this. Immigrants do marijuana or ayahuasca. Wait,
I would never try something like that. I mean, I think it's so irresponsible, like for him to be working with youth and then to.
Okay, I have it right here. I will show it to you. I'll share it so you know. And this is on record because my uncle actually used to work in California in immigration, right? And my uncle Henry was really funny. He said, "I'm sharing it with you right now." Something.
Oh, you are.
My uncle Henry would say to the people who got the green card, right? He would say, "Listen," and they have actually flyers and a big posters outside. Do not even apply to get a card for marijuana or anything because you're bound by federal law, because they thought that because they had a green card, they could now go get marijuana or whatever, right? So they have outside. Yes. And it says to warn them. And it says, immigrants cannot safely use marijuana or ayahuasca in the United States because U.S. immigration law operates under federal authority. Consuming, possessing, or admitting to using substances that are illegal federally, even if allowed or decriminalized by individual state laws, can result in visa denials, green card rejections, deportation, or a permanent ban from the country. Marijuana risks for immigrants, federal illegality. Marijuana remains a Schedule I controlled substance under federal law, overriding any state level legislation or medical programs. Admissions and confessions, admitting past use, even casually or for medical reasons, to a U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services officer or border agent can lead to finding of inadmissibility. Working, investing, or holding in the legal cannabis, you're done. Ayahuasca risk for immigrants. Ayahuasca contains DMT, which is strictly classified as a federal Schedule I controlled substance. No blanket protections. While a tiny number of specific religious organizations have now federal exemptions, participating in underground or alternative retreats is illegal.
So you can't do any of that if you're
an immigrant.
Man. And people who are immigrants here legally have even been, well, there's been a lot going on here.
Nigella Lawson, the famous chef, admitted to
Gold Laverick.
Nigella Lawson admitted years ago, the chef, of doing drugs with her dying husband to support him, because he was
needing the medicine.
Yes. And when she was about to board the plane, they banned her entry. She had to go to court. Yes. Then there was this. What's the girl that used to sing? I try to go.
Oh, you're talking about Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse won an Emmy in the United States. She could not come pick it up because of her admitted drug use.
Wow.
Harry has gone on that ayahuasca guy, that Gabor Mate, says that he loves doing it, He prefers it. He talked about cocaine. He thought that cocaine didn't do it for him. Go, Patricia. Film it.
Okay.
No, say. No, I'm serious.
I'll
tell you why he's more dangerous, because he has access to a huge platform.
Yes.
So he has far more reach, and he's deeply embedded with very vulnerable youth. So it's not like your regular immigrant, or anybody. This is a guy with a huge platform and means. With a reach, able to. Can you imagine if you turn out to be the one who ends up getting Harry kicked out of the United States of America?
Thank you so much, Neely 101. Yeah, that would be quite endeavor for me. Thank you so much, Modern Music.
Actually, Patricia, you know what?
What?
You know that trip that you and I have planned very shortly?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We could go to California and do it.
Why don't we just do it then? Because then let's do it. Y'all, we got a surprise.
We can go to my cousin. We can go to my cousin who's a sheriff, and he can direct us directly to there.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I think that's a great idea. Desert Rose, thank you so much.
What is this chat thing? What is the chat thing?
Okay, let's see what the chat thinks if we should do that.
Neely says, PDina, don't do it. We can't do a thing about it. Actually, that is the wrong approach. Yes, we can do something. Once there is something, they will have to investigate. And you can request a random drug test. And if it tests positive, his ginger ass is out of the US. You would be helping him.
I would be helping him get his butt into some kind of what you call it, recovery, because I think he's abusing drugs. I mean, just my opinion, only because of all the negativity that's around him now. Harry has to be
pupils, his behavior, he's all disheveled and dirty.
Yeah, he has to be. He has to be.
That would be the ultimate royally teachable moment
for him.
Talk about PDINA all the time. That would be tough love. That would be doing him a favor, because by kicking him out of the country, Meghan Markle would either have to follow suit or she'll divorce him.
Yeah. Yep. She would. Okay, so everybody, I hope I got you all. If I didn't get you, let me know. But I want to thank everyone for their support. You're sending me of your jewels and the what do they call these? The little icon things.
I don't even know what they are, Pat.
Did I say? Yeah, I said hi. Thank you to Muse. So, Paula, thank you so much for giving us the information around the Invictus. I've got these.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for having. But I mean, I am so shocked. I wonder, because I was thinking, Patricia, $11 million, and this is not Canadian dollars because this is euros. You know, from the euros, it's $11 million.
Yeah,
I'm like, on Meghan and Harry.
So will that come out, you think, eventually? I think.
Well, I was shocked by it. I mean, and they're pushing for it. This is why Harry, and this is, I want your take on this. This is why Harry's desperate to have Charles stand next to him for Invictus, because he feels that if the king shows him support, they won't want to dig into it, because they don't want to do anything to the king's son.
Yeah. Of course, there's an ulterior motive for him. I don't think Charles will stand by his side. If he does, he will be making a big mistake, and we'll see what happens. But I just hope he doesn't.
Guys, I am leaving, not Patricia. Patricia's staying in the live. I just came here to gossip with you.
All right, Miss Paula, I'll see you later, dear. Bye. Bye. Okay, so anyway, I think that with everything that is happening with Harry right now, and then I was thinking also about, his whole visa thing, that is actually not going to happen. At least it looks like they're not going to reveal it. So if we do go to file a report against him for what he has done, hey, that'd be pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know. But I'd have to think about it and see what the consequences of that would be, because it would be adventurous. I don't have much adventure in my life. My biggest adventure is Otis right now. He is my biggest adventure. And I think he's left the room, everyone. He is starting to get very, very jealous when I give attention to you guys. You see how he comes up here and how he's like trying to get my attention. But when I'm not speaking, he just sits quietly and he's fine. So I think there's a jealousy thing happening with speaking to people. And it's so crazy because my daughter was like, because she was the whole reason why we have the dog, right? And she saw me and Otis just snuggled up and she was like, I just can't believe this. You didn't even want that dog. And now he's your best friend. Like, how did that happen? It was like I've been bamboozled, man. Like, serious. It's crazy, but I love it. So, okay. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I think things with Harry are spiraling right now. I think Meghan is a big part of that for him in his life. And they're saying that Harry is starting to be a little bit more grounded in his stance against the things that Meghan is pushing him to do. This is why they ended up going to the UK with the children, because Harry demanded it, and Meghan would never allow Harry to go without her. And they had a reason to go because of the whole Diana documentary. So it happened. But usually it's because Meghan is preventing Harry from doing things. I think he is starting to get a little bit more emboldened against his wife, even the king. It was talked about how he needs to like kind of step up and put his woman in her place. I don't know, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm just telling you, I feel a vibe in the air that all is not well with him. I do. I feel it. And you can see it. You can see it. So I want to thank you all so much for being here and for all of your support in my channel. Otis has left the room, so you'll see him in my video tomorrow. And thank you to Lizzie B and to all the people who showed up and commented and supported and liked this video and who gave out jewels for me today and memberships. Mystica Rose, Lizzie B, thank you so much. And honesty and truth, all you guys, I appreciate you. Have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll see you all here next week. All right? Bye.
Do you remember when the world loved the fairy tale? Do you remember before the interviews went off the rails? Wedding bells in Windsor, crowds lined every street. People thought the future would be history complete. Then the palace whispers started turning loud. Next thing, Oprah sitting there as tears fell to the ground. Every headline spinning, every channel breaking news. Family drama worldwide from California views. Do you remember when they said they'd walk away? Do you remember? But somehow still had more to say. Do you remember the Oprah conversation? Do you remember the Netflix revelation? Do you remember the book called Spare? Every chapter throwing secrets like the whole world wasn't there. Private jets and podcasts, documentary scenes, talking about the palace life on every streaming screen. Hollywood connections, Montecito lights, but every royal headline turns into another fight. Brother against brother, father under fire. Every public statement adding more fuel to the fire. Now the public's asking questions. What happened to the plan? Wanted peace and quiet, but cameras follow every strand. From red carpets to speeches, to tell all TV nights. The privacy tour keeps rolling under flashing paparazzi lights. Do you remember the curtsy on Netflix? Do you remember the stories from Spare? Do you remember every family secret suddenly floating everywhere? Do you remember when loyalty mattered? Do you remember before the family shattered? Do you remember when silence had grace? Now every week another headline, another public chase. Do you remember how the story used to be? Now every royal moment feels like reality. TV